Well, hi, friends. I just wanted to read to you another story from the salamander and the manger, at the manger. So today we're going to hear about the possum who sang. Polly the possum and her family lived in a place with lush forests and flowing streams. It was a place that always smelled like spring. Early in her life, Polly happily rode around on her mother's back with her siblings. As they grew bigger, the possums began to explore on their own. Polly loved to wander, sometimes hiding under bushes or watching sunlight make shadows with the tree leaves. She listened to the river and hummed along with its babbling sounds. At night, Polly fell asleep, with the stars providing a gentle glow. One day, Polly climbed a tree for the first time. After climbing high into the tree, Polly stepped out onto a branch to rest and catch her breath. She enjoyed how the light and the leaves seemed to dance to the rhythms of the river song. After a while, she decided to try something she had seen other possums do. She wrapped her long tail around the tree branch and let herself dangle upside down. In this position, she could swing back and forth in the breeze as she hummed with the river. Polly thought this activity was great fun. She swung until she was tired and then climbed down to sleep under the bushes. This became the pattern of her days. Polly would spend the night on the forest floor, and then as the sun rose, she would climb a tree to swing and hum. As she sang with the river, Polly began to wonder where the river led beyond her forest home. Polly felt as if there was a message coming to her in the river song. The song of the river flows in my heart. The song seemed to be inviting her to leave the sanctuary of the forest and follow the river. The longer she listened and hummed along, the clearer the message became. Polly climbed down from her favorite tree and began to follow the river. At the start of every day, she walked along the river. The going was slow as she had to stop and rest often. Sometimes she would climb a tree in the afternoon to relax and swing for a while. She found that this made the river song clear. Every evening when the sun wasn't so hot, she walked a little farther along the river. Every night before Polly fell asleep, she loved to watch the stars twinkle and shine. After many days of walking, Polly noticed the river was narrowing and slowing. Its song was changing. Finally, Polly came to the end of the river. In front of her was a land of rolling hills and straggly trees. She could not hear the river any longer. She climbed one last tall tree, swung from a branch with her tail, and hummed the familiar song of the river that was always in her heart. The humming and swinging were comforting as she looked at the unfamiliar landscape. But that night, Polly settled down next to a rock to sleep. She reminded herself that even without the trees to swing from, the song of the river would go with her wherever she traveled. She felt slightly anxious and looked up at the twinkling stars to calm herself. Suddenly, a great star appeared in the sky, its light brighter than anything Polly had ever seen. Then Polly understood the change she had been sensing in the river's message. Follow the star. Polly got up and began to make her way toward the star. She walked for a long time, stopping to rest along the way. The message continued to echo in her mind and her heart, just like the song of the river. The song of the river flows in my heart. At last, Polly came to the place where the star was shining. It was a stable, and standing outside were shepherds with their sheep and a stately moose with his head and antlers in the window. They were all gazing at something in the stable itself. Inside the stable sat a young woman gazing at a baby with so much love that it seemed to mingle with the star's light. Across from her sat a man who was looking at mother and child with a sense of joy and wonder in his eyes. Next to the manger was a cow with a crooked horn and a white unicorn. Polly approached the manger. "What is that creature?" the cow wondered aloud. She was unpleasantly surprised at the sight of Polly in the stable. An owl with golden eyes gave the cow a long stare. The unicorn said patiently, "My friend, are you judging the appearance of this creature? May I remind you how much time you spend worrying about your crooked horn and trying to hold your head so no one will notice?" The cow grumbled unintelligibly and tilted her head a little more to the right. The unicorn continued, "All things are beautiful in the light of the star and the gaze of the baby." Esme, the spider, dropped down from the rafters. "Come up here with me, my friend." Polly went to one of the posts in the stable and began to climb toward Esme. Just then, the baby began to fuss. When Polly got to the rafter, she wrapped her tail around the beam and began to swing next to the spider. As she swung, she hummed the song of the river more joyfully than she had ever had before. The song of the river flows in my heart. As she and Esme swung together, Polly's singing filled the stable with a peaceful melody. The baby stopped crying and smiled at the two animals swinging overhead. His mother laid him in the manger where he snuggled down in the straw to sleep. The father looked up and smiled at Polly. "Thank you for calming our son," he said. "Your song is beautiful." The unicorn spoke up. This is a night of hope for everyone. This child was born to show us what else might be possible in the world with God's love. Let that love fill the world like the possum song has filled this stable. God bless you all, my friends.